Good afternoon, friends. We begin our traditional briefing on exposing the fakes of Russian propaganda. We begin with Russia's reaction to the news about the detention of Vladimir Putin's close ally Viktor Medvedchuk in Ukraine. Here, Russia used its traditional scheme. The purpose of the scheme is not to defend any particular version, but to sow total distrust so that everyone is convinced that we will never know the truth. Therefore, no need to believe anyone. This is the approach that Russia uses in situations that are disadvantageous to the country. This is the approach that Russia uses in situations that are disadvantageous to this country. That's what happened to Medvedchuk. As soon as the news about his detention appeared, Putin's speaker Peskov came out to the media. I quote, "The photo with the allegedly detained Medvedchuk needs to be checked due to a large number of fakes." Peskov said that he had seen the photo with Medvedchuk, but could not say whether the photo is real or fake. This is the technique Russia uses when it comes to its war crimes. For example, the missile attack on Kramatorsk. They don't defend the version, they try to sow disbelief in the Ukrainian version. When it came to the massacre in Bucha, there was exactly the same. Sowing disbelief in the Ukrainian version. When the Malaysian Boeing was down, an endless number of fake versions popped to sow disbelief in the version of the investigation about the Russian involvement in this crime. But we, Ukrainians, know Medvedchuk's face very well, and I am convinced that he is the man who since the 1990s has been promoting narratives beneficial to Russia in the Ukrainian political media and legal environment. Another topic that we will discuss at this briefing is the information that has become known to the Ukrainian Special Services about the creation of a fake People's Republic in the west of Ukraine. This scenario of creating fake People's Republics was spelled out in an article in Komsomolskaya Pravda back at the beginning of the war as one of the basic scenarios that Russia attempts to achieve by starting a war in Ukraine. The purpose of these fake republics is to support the alleged local population's desire to separate from Kiev. What did the Ukrainian Special Services find out? One of the members of the group cooperated with the Ukrainian investigation and said that the group began working to overthrow the constitutional order in Ukraine back in the summer of 2021, more than half a year ago. This man, the informer, was contacted by an officer of the enemy Russian intelligence service who turned out to be the organizer of the scheme himself. He declared his intention was the creation of a new democracy in Ukraine, in quotes. And if the current Ukrainian government itself would not resign, the group would move to take the power with brute force. They should have hired 1,500 mercenaries, preferably among the former participants of the anti-terrorist operation. This plan was supposed to coincide with Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, but thanks to the work of the State Security Service, the network was exposed and its organizers detained in early March in Ivano-Frankivsk and Khmelnytsky regions. One of the accomplices has already admitted his guilt and testified against the organizers. In general, the scenario of creating fake republics is typical for Russia. This was the case with the Donetsk region and Luhansk region. Now they are trying to create one in the Kherson region. There were reports in the media about attempts to create a fake republic with the help of Carpathian Ruthenians, another fake republic in the west of Ukraine, and so on. That is, to show the desire of the Ukrainians themselves to separate from the Ukrainian government. This narrative will not work, because we Ukrainians know very well who stands behind it. Another rather primitive fake appeared in Russian public and Telegram channels, such as the order of the President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelenskyy to attack the Belgorod region of Russia. A video has been created that is very easy to recognize by the fake features. First, one of the participants wore an emblem of the Tornado Company of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine. This company was disbanded in 2015, but Russian propaganda is not bothered by such trifles when it comes to creating a fake. They use everything at hand. Not so long ago, they allegedly showed orders from President Zelenskyy where the president's initials were misspelled, or allegedly intercepted a computer of Ukrainian militias where the Ukrainian letter "ye" was written in a Russian manner. It is exactly the same letter, but it faces a different direction. The same goes for this tornado company, which has not existed for 7 years. The main thing is that the fake was laid in a fertile ground, prepared by Russian propagandists. The fake is also indicated by the command allegedly given by these soldiers of the Ukrainian army. First, even basic military commands like "rise up," they got wrong due to the similarity of Russian and Ukrainian languages and their differences. Secondly, the order of Volodymyr Zelensky is read out, calling him Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, when in fact the correct title is the Supreme Commander-in-Chief. Such mistakes indicate that this is a fake, created rather primitively, and the primitivism of those who created it, as well as the lack of understanding of Ukrainian realities. Another fake has already appeared in the Russian public at the level of an anecdote that alleged refugees from Rubizhne told about a ghost tank that is taking part in hostilities on the side of Ukraine. It is said that the tank arrived at 5 a.m. and fired at the city, after which heavy shelling of the city began. He, the ghost tank, burned half of the city. It is at the same time shameful and ridiculous to comment, but Russian propagandists feed their citizens with such information garbage, trying to justify the crimes against the Ukrainian civil population. Well, at the very end, the refutation of the internal fake circulating in our media space for more than a week about a kind of conflict, a misunderstanding between the Ukrainian military leadership and the Ukrainian political leadership. This fake, unfortunately, is spread by one of the opposition parties, which is very eager to return to power. Their leaders of public opinion and politics are dispersing this fake as much as possible, thus trying to create an illusion among Ukrainian citizens. I officially declare that both Ukrainian politicians and the military are in state of full understanding and keep in touch around the clock. This concludes the briefing. Thank you for your attention. Trust the Ukrainian armed forces, the Ukrainian political leadership and the Ukrainian media. See you, everything will be fine.
До зустрічі, все буде добре.